these negotiations have been going on for 27 years, which is a little bit outrageous considering just how urgent this issue is, and it's a difficult space to navigate because, as many people have said, the space isn't really designed for us.
States continue to refuse to recognize and acknowledge our custody of lands and resources because many states are serving the interest of the few. Many states are in the hands of colonial powers and resources are made to serve the interests of big business. And that is the source of conflict with indigenous peoples. It's a legacy of colonialism that we need to stop.
I think states have the hard time to understand it is important to get the indigenous peoples in the decision-making tables. They just think they are the ones who can take the decisions, but they are taking the decision about our lives, about our lands. So we must be there and take the decision with them. The rights of indigenous peoples have been violated by those who are taking the decision.
One area we saw an opportunity to reclaim power and to advance self-determination was around the Indigenous Pavilion. So this is the first year where an Indigenous organization has funded the Indigenous Pavilion. And why that's important is because we really need to be designing spaces by us, for us.
We wanted a space where we were very visible, that felt safe for people to be at, that was comfortable for people to be at, especially our elders, and that facilitated relationship building among the Indigenous peoples that were there, because we've known, we've been engaged in these spaces, and we know that some of the biggest opportunities we have as Indigenous peoples is really to build relationships with each other.
Estamos pueblos indígenas de las 7 regiones socioculturales y es como nuestro punto de encuentro, es la ancla que tenemos en este espacio, es nuestro territorio, es nuestra vida. Entonces creo que es súper importante tener este espacio para construir en conjunto, para generar alianzas entre nosotros también y sobre todo definir cuáles van a ser nuestras metas en conjunto, nuestra estrategia en conjunto para poder trabajar en las negociaciones de la COP.
We have our own meeting room where we can set up meetings. We have a media room where we can schedule interviews that we can interview, that folks can come interview us. We have a space where we can hold panels all day long.
I think what's really important about this space is being able to build that relationship so that we can build hope. On the policy side, things really move super slow, and every year you come back and keep working on little pieces of text and finding ways where we might potentially be excluded and find ways that we can advocate for our own representation and our own voice.
Traditional knowledge is important in climate change in terms of helping people's preparedness. It also, the local people, indigenous people in this case, know their community properly. To be able to organize themselves, to organize at the community level, to be able to face the challenge, either in terms of adaptation or finding a means to fight. For us, knowledge is survival for us. It means survival.
We are losing our cultures, our identities, our knowledge, and that needs to be funded directly. And they cannot just tackle in silo the ecosystem, but tackle all the ecosystem, from the desert to the glaciers, to the savannas, to the forests, to the sea level. All must be in one. And that's how indigenous peoples also are managing the entire ecosystem around the world.
Instead of valuing our contributions and our stewardship of nature, we are being criminalized when we take action to defend our lands, to defend biodiversity, and to defend our dignity. So it's important that we make sure that human rights is at the center of decisions on climate change actions.
Nothing in our story with the colonization was given. You know, like there's spaces that we have, the spaces that our elders achieve. It was through a lot of fight, a lot of resistance. So keep this inside you, like don't give up. Try to create spaces, and also for the relatives that are already inside those spaces, open doors, you know, try to involve more people and also make contacts. It's really important because for us to be in here, it's because of a lot of hands helping us to be in this place.
Thank you. How do we come together and build joy and like build resistance from a place of honoring rather than a place of trauma and sadness, you know? So this space has really been transformational in how we can work together from, you know, united from around the world. What I would say to all of the youth that come here, come find your people. We're so willing to support you, and so are all of our elders, and like get involved in what is actually going to impact your people back home, because that's what we're here for.